Hi, welcome to the class. Today we'll start chapter 7. Name of the chapter is sound. So first let us define sound. Sound, we all know that sound is a form of energy which produces sensation of hearing. Okay, so it produces sensation of hearing. So sound is that form of energy. Sound is produced by vibrating object. Whenever a object vibrates, it produces sound. So you must have seen the strings of a guitar. When we pluck the strings of the guitar, they vibrate and they produce sound. Sound is a longitudinal wave. So sound is a longitudinal wave. It means that like light is a transverse wave. So transverse means the vibrations are perpendicular to the direction of wave propagation. So suppose the wave is propagating in this direction. So the vibrations are taking place perpendicular to the wave propagation. But in longitudinal wave, the vibrations and the wave, they both are moving in the same direction. So this is why the sound is a longitudinal wave. Sound needs a material medium to travel. Sound cannot travel in space. It needs a material medium to travel. Okay. Now sound can be of two types. One is infrasonic sound and the other is ultrasonic sound. So infrasonic sound means the sound which are below 20 Hertz. So they are below 20 Hertz. Okay, so whatever sounds are below 20 Hertz, they are infrasonic. And ultrasonic are the sounds which are above 20,000 Hertz. Now this 20,000 Hertz and 20 Hertz, these two are the important numbers. Why they are important numbers? Because between these two is the audible range of normal human being. So audible range for normal human being is 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. So this is the audible range for normal human being. Audible range. Okay. Below 20 Hertz we cannot hear, that is infrasonic. Above 20 Hertz we cannot hear, that is ultrasonic. So this is the basic thing. Now you know that a wave, because sound is a longitudinal wave, and a wave is something which repeats itself again and again. Okay, so it repeats itself again and again, and it carries the energy from one point to the other point. Okay. So representation of a wave can be done like this. Representation of a wave can be done like this. So these two lines, that is this line, horizontal line, this is, you can assume it to be your x-axis and this to be as your y-axis. Okay. But I am naming them differently. I am calling this axis as time axis. So this axis is time axis, and this axis is what I call displacement axis. Displacement. It means I have to measure the displacement in this direction and I have to measure the time in this direction. So there are few physical quantities which we need to understand before we move forward. And the first one is amplitude. So the first one is amplitude. Now what do you mean by amplitude? So suppose a particle is there and we have confined the particle inside a box. These are the walls of the box. So it means the particle can go up till here, then it has to come back, then it will go there, and then it has to come back, and it keeps on vibrating like this. Okay. But suppose at some point of time it does not come here, but it comes up till this point. And if I ask you what do we call this, what the particle has done, so you will be saying either it has done distance, it has traveled a distance, or it has traveled a displacement. This is what you are going to say. But if I ask you what the particle has done up till the wall, means till the last point what it has done, so you will again say it has done it has done displacement or it has traveled distance. But then I'm going to ask you, is it the maximum distance or maximum displacement? Your answer will be yes, because it is confined inside a box and it cannot move further beyond the wall. Okay, so this is the maximum displacement. So this maximum displacement is known as amplitude. So like my particle is vibrating from this point, I'm calling it as O, which is origin, where the two axes are meeting. And then it goes up till this point. Then this is the maximum displacement which it can do in this direction, because this direction represents to measure the displacement. So this is the maximum displacement which this particle can do. Okay, it cannot go above it. Similar way, in the downward direction it can come up till here, it cannot go below this. So these two distances or the displacement traveled by the particle, I'm using the word displacement more often because sometimes it has to move in this direction and the other time it has to move in this direction. So it is direction sensitive. So amplitude A, it is the maximum displacement on either side of the mean position. So mean position means this is the mean position from where the particle is starting, and these two are known as extreme points, extreme position. So distance up till extreme position is known as amplitude. So amplitude is displacement. So SI unit would be, SI unit is meter. Okay. Now second is wavelength. Now what is wavelength? So the upper part is known as, this upper bump is known as crest, and the lower part is known as trough. Again this is crest, this is trough, and this is crest. So I call it, wavelength is also distance, but it is the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs. So the distance between two consecutive crests and two consecutive troughs is known as wavelength. Distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs is known as wavelength. Okay, now again wavelength is distance, so SI unit would be meter. Now the third point is the time period, that is T. So when the particle is starting its vibration from this point, it comes up to this point, then in the opposite direction it goes in the opposite direction, like it is going in this direction, then coming back. So it goes up till there, up till this point, then coming back. So this is the coming back graph, then going in the opposite direction, going up till here, then coming back. So this whole complete part from here up till here is known as one vibration or is known as one oscillation. This whole thing is known as one vibration or one oscillation. So time taken to complete one cycle, we call it cycle also. Time taken to complete one cycle, one vibration or one oscillation is this time. Time taken to complete one vibration, one oscillation or one cycle. So this is the time period. Obviously SI unit would be second. SI SI unit second. Why it would be second? Because SI unit of time period is second. Okay. Next one is frequency. Number 4. Frequency. So as you can see, time taken to complete one cycle is second. Now frequency is how many cycles are completed in 1 second. So the number of cycles or the number of oscillations, number of vibrations completed in 1 second is known as frequency. So number of vibrations, oscillations, cycles completed in 1 second is frequency. So if you calculate the number of vibrations and oscillations in 1 second, that would be frequency. It means 4 number of vibrations in 1 second, that would be frequency. What would be the SI unit? So for frequency, there is a relation that frequency is inverse of time period. So SI unit would be, according to this formula, SI unit is per second, because it will go up, it will become t minus 1, and t minus 1 means second inverse. So SI unit can be second inverse, also known as hertz. Hertz. This is how it is written. So these are the basic things about the sound, and this we will do in the next class. Thank you.